Hello, I'm Jerry Fort. Gonna do the answer part of the video. Y'all ready for this? Excuse me. Okay, yeah, this could be, I don't know, this could be a longer video than what I thought. Some of these questions are ones that kind of have stories attached. You know what I mean, Butterbean? So, I'm gonna read the ones that came in the first, 6 days ago, which was Uber Sooner Switzer. So he's got two questions. Let's see what he says here. What he asks. What was the first album you bought with your own money, and what song made you want to buy it? Okay, that there is tricky because when I first started buying albums, I lived in Lexington, South Carolina. When I first started buying records in general. Back then it wasn't, let's see how am I gonna go about this. There was a mall, but it was kind of a ways away from where I lived. Me and a friend of mine, we would walk to this mall. It was probably, 15, 20 miles maybe for us to walk there. It took us a little bit to get, no, it couldn't have been that far. I'll say 10 miles. Probably that. And our folks wasn't always available to take us there to the mall where the record store was. But, so yeah, before I started buying records for myself, I would buy them for, my family were partiers. When I was younger, my mom, she was a little bit wild. She enjoyed dancing, and my oldest brother, he was good at dancing. This is back in the disco era, so them two would dance. They would sometimes go to clubs and dance and stuff, and but we'd have like family get-togethers, and I was the one that I controlled the music. I had the record player, and I was the disc jockey. My mom or somebody would tell me what to play. I'd get it out, and I'd play it. Excuse me, ear itched. So I would listen for different stuff that they would enjoy dancing to, and when we'd go to the mall, I wasn't sure exactly what the name of the songs was. Like my mom really liked this one song. I think it was "Stomp" by Brothers Johnson, and I was always listening for what they said the most in a song, and I'd write it down. And when we'd go, I'd look to see if I could find that title in there, and hoping that it was called that. So I would look through all the albums, the 45s or whatever, and I'd see, oh, there's Stomp, and I wouldn't know who sang it, usually, so I would pick them out. My mom would buy them back then. Now my first album that I bought was probably in South Carolina, also, at that time, is when I started kind of becoming more independent with my own music preferences, and I back then, like easy listening music was big, like Little River Band, and I did like some rock then, but not as much as I did later on. But I liked Little River Band, and there was an album, I think it was something like First Across the Line, or First I can't remember what it had. I think it had Cool Change on there. Shoot. Man in the Middle. But there was some songs on that album I really liked. And when there's more than 2 or 3 songs on an album that I liked, I would find it worth it to get the album. And back then, there was only like $3 or $4 for an album, and I would get it. And I got that one, and I was happy with it. Some of the stuff on there. So I believe that was probably the first one I got was Little River Band, and the reason why I got it was on that one there was more than 2 or 3 songs that I liked. I can't remember off the top of my head what all was on that one, but that was back in the late 70s, something like that. See, what is the most enjoyable, satisfying part of your job? This one here? Well, this one here is a very laid back. This is a college. It's not a big college. It's just a community college, and there's like 4 or 5 campuses for this the title of this campus, and so I've worked at probably all the campuses, but I got hired on in 2016, and 2016 I had been working at a property management, which aka apartment complexes, and I mean, I was getting older, you know. I'm almost 60. I'll be 60 next year, but it was starting to wear on me. I mean, I was pretty fit. I mean, I had to be. I was carrying a lot of stuff up 3 flights of stairs a lot of times. But at the end, I was starting to really I started having to look for something else, and get out of that business. Put my application in, and I got on to this. They called me and wanted to get an interview with me. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe this is happening. And they were going to pay me like $4 or $5 more than what I was coming from. So I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I come on here, and the carpenter told me, he says, because, you know, property management, it's fast-paced work. I mean, you got to go. And, you know, if you've ever lived in an apartment complex and you moved in and you saw most of the percentage of the time they look like crap in there because they have to go fast. They can't be detail oriented. They just want to slap paint on the wall and it looks like crap. So this is the environment I was in, but I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to have pride in my work. So that kind of made me stand out amongst all the other painters in that property management company. But yeah, but that made me take longer because I was doing a good job. So when I come on to this college, I was in fast gear right when I started, and I was like, you know, the carpenter had to say, Jerry, slow down. You're not at those apartments anymore. You can slow down and do a good job, and, you know, just take your time. You know, you don't have to, you know, fly around here like you're got nitro going on. NOS or whatever they call it. Anyway, it was hard. It was hard for me to slow down, but I mean, I did. I started getting a laid back feeling, and it was great. I actually had time to talk to people at this apartment complex, and I didn't have time to talk to anybody. I didn't have time to talk. I had to go. I had to, if I'm going to talk, I had to work while I talked. Here I can stop and I can talk to people, and nothing's a 911. If it's going to be a 911, then they let you know, and then I cruise through it and get it done, and I'm good. But yeah, what I like about this job is it's very laid back. Everybody is very polite. Everybody is very appreciative and respectful to me. All the campuses have been the same way. Just nice people to work with, work around. I've had all great bosses. It was questionable at the apartment complex on whether or not I was going to have a good manager. Some of those people were not nice, didn't give a crap about you. Here, it's total opposite. So, yeah, what is the most enjoyable, satisfying part of your job? Just the laid backness and the respect I get. That's probably the best part of my job. So there you go. All right, Uber Sooner. There's your answers. Let's see who's next. Rocket Man. Have you ever traveled outside the United States? If so, where did you go? Did you enjoy your time there? The most that I went out of the United States was I just went right over the border into Mexico. My brother and I, when we worked for a restoration company, we was in Texas, and we went across the border one day, and we went to a little market that just happened to be right when you get across the border. It was right in there, and went in there and looked around, and it was interesting. It was interesting that the stuff in there was cheap, cheaper. I bought a case of Corona, and I bought some Vero mango suckers when I was in there. And that was it. Yeah, it was the restoration company. Most of our crew was Hispanic, so when I was in that little store, I was squeezing by somebody, and I said, "Con permiso?" He looks at me like, "What the crap?" It's this gringo talking Spanish to me. Yeah, it was a cool experience. We wasn't there for but for more than maybe an hour, and then we went back. But that's the only time I've ever been out of the United States, and that was barely out of the United States. And I did enjoy my time there. It was very interesting to go into a little market that was, stuff was, cool, there. I wasn't doing reviews back then. This was in 1997. So, but if I was, I would have had a blast and getting all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Number 2, let's see, do you have any hobbies? What do you like to do in your spare time, other than making videos for YouTube, of course? Hobbies, I collect. My hobbies are kind of more collecting. I've done some videos. You guys can look up some videos of my Hot Wheel. I've done a bunch of Hot Wheel videos, because I've got like probably 10 cases of Hot Wheels, stuff that I've been collecting ever since I was really young. I got them all out of the case, each one, and showed you, and talked a little bit about it and stuff. There's probably 15 or more videos of my Hot Wheels videos if you want to go check them out. But Hot Wheels, yeah, Hot Wheels, Johnny Lightning, all that kind of stuff. I've been collecting them ever since probably the late 70s. My younger brother, who's deceased, he collected cars also, and my nephew, and my older brother, who's deceased, my brother Wayne, he started collecting them as well. So we would all go together sometimes and go to not malls, but flea markets and stuff, and looking for them. Sometimes just grocery stores, we find some and get some. But yeah, Hot Wheels. When I was very young, same time I was collecting Hot Wheels, I collected matchbooks. You know, matchbooks you light your cigarette with or whatever. I started collecting matchbooks, and I had a bunch of matchbooks. I'd go to, you know, antique stores and find them in fish bowls, you know, and I'd buy the whole bunch, and it got to the point where I had so many, I started putting them in scrapbooks. I'd take the staple out, you know, where you put the flap to close it. Took the staple out, took that little piece of cardboard that's in there, took it out, laid them flat in a scrapbook. I'd staple the top, staple the bottom, and I had just rows of them in these scrapbooks. Taking them out like that, it decreases the value, but I didn't have any intentions on selling them. Yeah, they got damaged. A lot of my collection got damaged, and I got rid of them. But yeah, it makes me sad when I think about it. But that's stuff that I used to do. I still got my Hot Wheels, of course. I keep those. Those are going to Jeremy. He inherits those, but I already consider them partly his too. But what else? Knives. I like knives, all kinds of knives, axes, hatchets, spears, you know, weapons, just, you know, hand weapon type things. I just have collected them over the years. My dad liked pocket knives. He had a bunch when he was younger. But that's really about it, hobby-wise. I loved watching movies and stuff, shows. That's really not in my spare time. I do that whenever. But have you lived in the state of Oklahoma most of your life? I've lived in Oklahoma since 1984. 1984, I moved here from Colorado, Loveland, Colorado. And when I moved here, I had already quit school, wasn't in school. I quit school when I was 16. When I turned 16 and started working. When I was in Colorado, my job was I was a piano mover. I worked at a music store. And so when I moved here to Tulsa, I started looking for piano moving jobs, you know, because I had good experience in that. There was none. Nobody was hiring, so I ended up applying at Village Inn Pancake House, which the one that I started at's no longer here. It's a different, they closed down. But I started working there, bussing tables, washing dishes, and then I ended up being a prep cook later on. Just kind of they was training me kind of in that before I quit. But yeah, like 30, I've lived here for 38 years. No, lived here for 39 years. So half my life, something like that. Yeah. But I've lived all over the United States. I've lived in Arkansas, South Carolina, Colorado, Oklahoma. I've lived in Oregon for a while. I think that's about it. Okay, what's the next question? That's Rocket Man's. Let's see. Chris Sheehan says top five bands / musical artists. Top five. Probably shoot. Let's go classic rock because it's easier to do that. But my likes in the music world is huge, because I like so many different genres of music. It'd be hard for me to name them all. But I like Bad Company, Paul Rogers and Bad Company. I like Boston. I like Uriah Heep, and oh, when I was 16, I was really big into AC/DC. But can I say that that's one of my top 5? Yeah. Who else? Foreigner, probably. There might be something else, but I just can't think of what else it would have been. But I liked all kinds. A little bit of Molly Hatchet, Leonard Skinner, a lot of Southern bands. But that's that. Ever been arrested? No, but I've been in a holding cell for a couple hours. I told that story on one of my. That's another thing you guys should do, is go to my. I bet Job Balloon, old Josh Job Balloon guy. I bet he's watched probably all of my story time with Jerry's, because he knows a lot about me. But I've talked about all kinds of things, topics and stuff I've done. But yeah, I was arrested for I rolled through a stop sign. Okay, I didn't make a complete stop, and they pulled me over for it. I got a ticket. I went to the courthouse, and I didn't have. Did I have insurance? Crap, I can't remember if I had insurance at the time. Anyway, I got fined $50 or something like that. I paid my fine, and I figured that was done. But they didn't finish that transaction at the courthouse, because I ended up having a black flag on my license. This was back in 1987, somewhere around there maybe. Yeah, they didn't clear my name. Then I had a black flag on my license. So now, if anybody happens to run my plate, they would see that, and they did when I was working at this mall. And they're checking license in parking lots, and checked mine while I'm sitting out there eating lunch, and saw that I had like a bench warrant or whatever, and so he called for backup, I guess, because when I left the property to go get gas after I was eating my lunch, I had like 4 or 5 cop cars pulling me over. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? One of the cops that pulled me over was a part-time security guard at the mall. I knew him. So he was telling me what's going on. He said he would have been a little bit more lenient with me, but his superior was watching. So I got into his car, but they had to put handcuffs on me, and they told me what's going on. I was like, you got to be kidding me! I took care of that ticket. I don't understand this. So yeah, they put me in a holding cell, I guess, while they check things out. I don't know, but that was scary enough for me. I've never been in that situation before. So after they cleared my name finally, told me where my car had been impounded, and I called my wife to come get me, pick me up. My wife had just started a new job that day, a little clothing store called Frug's. It's no longer around anymore, but no, it wasn't there. Where was it? Might have been Hobby Lobby. I can't remember. Anyway, she just started a new job, and she had to tell her boss, I have to go pick up my husband from the police department. But they frowned at that. Like, what kind of guy is this? He sounds like a piece of crap. Anyway, yeah. No, not arrested, but had been in a holding cell. Okay, where am I? Sure been arrested. Favorite fast foods. Favorite fast foods? Man, I'm a burger guy. Okay, I love all kinds of burgers. Even if I'm at a steak restaurant, they're expecting me to order a steak. I want a hamburger. They look at me like, "What's wrong with you? We're at a steak restaurant. You want a hamburger?" I do. I wanted to try everybody's hamburger. So yeah, I like hamburgers and fries. Mexican restaurants. I like the authentic ones, where it's more authentic Mexican foods. There's one here called El Tequila. It's really good. There's another one. Oh crap! It's been so long since I've seen those. Mexican food. I like Chinese food. Oh yeah, I go into Chinese buffets. A lot of Chinese. I like Italian too. It's really good. That's probably about it that I can think of. What's the most drunkest you've ever been? Probably my bachelor party. That's probably the worst I'd ever been, and the sickest I've ever been. Yeah, those guys, they were so unkind to me. I mean, it was like they purposely got me drunk. I passed out. The guy that gave my bachelor party was a misdemeanor that worked for the city of Tulsa. I worked for the city of Tulsa at the time, and he was a misdemeanor working off time there. And but he was well off. He had a lot of money, so he gave me my bachelor party, and they had all kinds of stuff a bachelor party has, and they were giving me, on the way to his house, they were giving me shots of bourbon or something, and I was just, I was just shooting them down, and then when we got there, they gave me, a beer, and they kept bringing me stuff. Here, Jerry, try this, do this, and pretty soon I was like looking at one of the guys. Two of the guys that I worked with for the city of Tulsa came too, and I was looking at him across the way. There was on the couch, and I was like looking at him. They was just moving. I couldn't keep them focused. And I said, "Hey, so and so, man, I can't keep you still." And then pretty soon, not too long after that, I just threw up. Threw up right on his floor. It was a nice wood floor. I heard somebody say, "That's okay, it's his party." But I ended up, it took me in and let me sleep in the guy that gave me the party. He had a girlfriend he lived with, and they took me into their room and let me lay on their bed because I was wasted. And and I started chilling. They laid me on the bed above the covers, and I started chilling because I was sick, and I ended up crawling up underneath the covers. And he came in. I heard him come in to check on me. He goes, "Oh no, Jerry got under our covers." Oh man, I was like, "I can hear you, but I don't care what you're saying." So they took me to my apartment where my wife was. We were staying together. Well, we were staying together. So they took me there, took me up to the door, knocked on the door, and left. Left me standing there at the door. Like, and she opened the door and she had me come in. And yeah, that was the most drunkest I've ever been. And it wasn't my doing, it was their doing. I guess that's what you're supposed to do to somebody you give a bachelor party for. So there's your questions, Chris Sheehan. Sheehan. Let's see. First, okay, Trey Kelly says, what do you like to do for fun when the alcohol starts to hit after the review or being buzzed from the alcohol? That's not really, it's not really. The most time I ever get a buzz is when I'm drinking something that's like 12%, usually like a Four Loko or something, and I'm sitting there talking to you guys, and I'm start feeling it after 10 minutes of talking, because I'm not paying no attention to what I'm doing, and I'm drinking it faster and talking to you guys. It's usually like a chat fest type thing. And when I stand up, I'm like, whoa. After the review, I'm like, wow. And I go in the house and I'm silly, I'm just cracking jokes to wife and Jeremy. And we're watching something. Watching shows is fun when you're buzzing, I guess. So that's probably about it. There you go, Trey. I mean, I know it's not that fun of a answer, but now when I was younger, listening to music after I've been drinking a little bit, when I was younger, I lived with my brother Wayne and his wife and son for a while, and we drank a lot. Partied and stuff, but okay. What is Josh Job Balloon saying now? Laugh out loud, good question. Post review buzzed Jerry. Who knows? My theory is the beer review guy is just a character, and when the cameras are off, he's Gerald Fort and the wine connoisseur. God, he just put this 35 minutes ago. I didn't see that till just now, but the wine connoisseur, I like wine, and I've reviewed some wines, but it's just really not my thing. The close I get to reviewing wine is now the beatboxes. They're a wine product, wine beverage. But good theory, Josh. Okay, let's see, what else? Bostar, from the Bostar channel. Hi, Jerry. If you had 100,000 subs on your channel, would you go full-time on YouTube for the money? Best wishes, Bostar. If I had 100,000 subs, I would want to go full-time on YouTube. I might be able to make enough money for that almost to be a career. I don't know, but it would be a nice little side gig there. Right now, my situation doesn't warrant for me to go to monetize my stuff. I'm not gonna explain it or go into details. Just I can't do it right now. So But I would very much like to, if I had 100,000 subs. Definitely. And then Trey Kelly, I think this is the last one. What is your favorite type of coffee? Light / medium, dark, and what make you like it the most? Probably, I acquired a taste for dark roast coffees. And I didn't really acquire a taste for dark roast coffees until I started reviewing beers. And I enjoyed stouts and porters, which are coffee-like. They're bitter, roasty, dark roasty flavors and stuff. So that's why I like darker roast coffees. They just taste really good. You add just a little bit of sweetness to it, to those coffees, and it just, a lot of times for me, it just adds to the flavor and just, yeah, makes it really good. And that is it. That is all. 36 minutes. Okay, well, I hope you all enjoyed the answers to all these. It was fun talking about it. Close to 40 minutes. That's a pretty good video. Yeah, thanks for you guys that did ask questions. That was entertaining. Appreciate that. And I will see you all on the next one. I don't know, I might go through here and put some answers to these so that it'll go out of my these. If an answer, if you don't reply to a comment, it's set in your deal for a while. So if I put some kind of answer on it, they'll go away. But I wanted to do this verbally. Of course, that's what can make it fun, First, I wanted to do that first. Now I can just say some things enough to make these finish out. All right, yeah. Okay, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Yeah, go to my story time with Jerry's. Check those out. My Hot Wheel videos. Check those out. Check out my other channel. Yeah, I mention my other channel sometimes. It didn't go anywhere. It was something I tried. But you guys can check it out. It's called Jungle Jerry's Treehouse. It was kind of meant to be kid friendly. It's a kind of a reading type of a channel. And some of the topics I read, you guys might be able to get into. Or your kid, I did some Magic Treehouse, if you've heard of those. Jeremy has a big collection from when he was a baby. He's little, and I read all those. So you can check out that. I only have like 63 subscribers on that one. I just didn't go anywhere. It was something I just tried. But yeah, all right. Now I'm going to end it here, and I thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one.